Now, the NFL season is still pretty far away, but there are three teams that where they are currently priced at in the betting market, viewed in the football world, that I am selling stock on at this point in time. These are teams that I don't see making the playoffs and teams that I see talked about as if they can make the playoffs, win their division, and even in some instances, go on a deep playoff run. The first team on this list for me is the Green Bay Packers, and the Green Bay Packers are probably the best team that we're actually going to talk about today. If I were to rank all 32 NFL teams 1 through 32, there's a good shot that they fall in the top 16, but their current situation is why that I'm selling stock on them. They are, in my opinion, in the best division in all of football in the NFC North, with the Lions, Vikings, Bears, and of course the Packers themselves. And they were a little disappointing last year, and I think that that's a trend that kind of continues as we head into 2025. Am I a Jordan Love hater? Maybe. When I look at Jordan Love, I don't see this top 10 MVP caliber quarterback upside that I see some people talk about. They talk about him as if the Packers hit again with another Hall of Fame quarterback, from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. He is the next coming of those guys. And what I saw from Jordan Love last year pretty much told me, no, this is a tier or two down from those guys. Absolutely. He's a guaranteed turnover a game. And especially in big football games, we saw it all postseason, all playoffs. You can't afford to give these extra teams possessions. They will beat you every single time when you lose that turnover battle. And Jordan Love is just reckless. And people will call him a gunslinger. And that's the nice way of saying reckless. But I don't see enough of those high impact gunslinger games where he is really just passing the rock around, dotting up defenses. I see sparks in moments. I see amazing throws, over the top throws, the cannon of an arm. I can't believe he made that throw on the run. But I also see a lot of bad with that, where pedaling on his back foot. Why'd he throw that interception? What's he doing there? Play for another down. And if that can be coached out of him, if that growth happens, then maybe I'll view the Packers differently. But I thought that was growth that we were going to see last season, because again, the conversation around Jordan Love really sparks to him as if he's this young player, as if he's in the same category as a CJ Stroud type. But Jordan Love is closer to 30 than he is 20. Jordan Love was a backup for a very long time. The odds of him taking a leap are not very high in my estimation. The weapons, they're the worst in the division. The weapons that the Green Bay Packers have of Romeo Doubs, Josh Jacobs, Matthew Golden are just simply not enough to get it done. In this division, you have the Lions with Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams, Laporta, Gibbs, Montgomery, that offensive line. The Vikings, Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, their offensive line. The Bears, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, Colston Loveland, Cole Kmet, DeAndre Swift, an improved offensive line. If we're ranking weapons, the Packers are by far in last place. And the Christian Watson injury makes them really depend on Matthew Golden to be a hit year one and not have a lot of growing pains, because he's the only consistent deep threat on their team. Jaden Reed has speed, but it's more of yak speed rather than I'm going to take you over the top. Their over-under this season is at 9.5 wins, and I just don't see a world where they finish better than third in their own division. They have maybe the second or third best quarterback. We'll see if Caleb takes a leap, because I'd certainly bet on him to take one more than Jordan Love, going from Waldron to Ben Johnson. And they have probably the third or fourth best coach. Matt LaFleur is good, but are we ready to put him above a Dan Campbell and a Kevin O'Connell? And who knows about Ben Johnson? The Packers might be in the bottom half of this division for both quarterback and coach by the time we look at the end of the season, and that does not spell a team that is going to have success in 2025. The second team on this list is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, the main question with them, of course, is who the hell is going to play quarterback for this team in 2025? Is it going to be Will Howard? Is it going to be Mason Rudolph? Is Aaron Rodgers going to come and try and save the day? I don't know, but the Pittsburgh Steelers are a team that I'm finally ready to sell stock on and say this is the year that they finish below 500. For starters, the AFC is just an absolute bloodbath on paper. Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, Texans, Chargers, Bengals, Broncos, all teams that were competing to get into the playoffs last year and feel like a consensus top 7 in this AFC. But even when you look at where the Steelers might lie, Patriots, Dolphins, Raiders, Titans, Jaguars, that's 5 more teams. That is 12 teams that I think going into the year could viably feel like, hey, if this thing goes right for us, we could win a playoff game this upcoming season. There is hope for a Jacksonville with Travis Hunter, Liam Cohen, a Tennessee with Cam Ward, the Raiders with Geno Smith. Whereas for the Steelers, they are going in the wrong direction stock-wise. And I'm ready to sell before we get to the season. The team was 0-5 to end last year. Don't get me wrong, they played some good teams, but you got to be good against these good teams, not 0-5 terrible, and it didn't even feel like they were in these games to end the season. Teams started to figure out that offense and that Arthur Smith offense, which can be so dreadful. I know that the Pittsburgh Steelers have the Mike Tomlin effect, where this guy just can't seem to have a losing season no matter who you give him. But at this point in time, I think the skill on their offensive roster has depleted from previous years, where now they're down to just DK Metcalf, who I don't know if he's better than George Pickens actually, but he's a guy who's been averaging like 60 catches a year for the last 2 years. And then the next most exciting offensive piece is a rookie running back that they just drafted out of Iowa, who, what was he, the 5th? 6th best running back in this class? It doesn't give me high inspiration to think that this offense is going to be good enough. The Steelers defense will be good, but competing in that AFC North, a lot of great quarterbacks in the AFC. I just don't think the Mike Tomlin effect is strong enough at this point in time to get Pittsburgh over their 8.5 win total. I think this is the year Mike Tomlin finally goes under 500. And the third team we got on this list is the Atlanta Falcons. People are talking about the Atlanta Falcons like not only can they win the NFC South this year, but this is a potential NFC championship level team. And I just don't know where all this, in my opinion, false hope is coming from. Last year, once Michael Penix got into the games, the Atlanta Falcons were an astonishing 1-2 in those games that Penix started. Michael Penix was 3 touchdowns to 3 interceptions with a 78 passer rating and less than a 60% completion percentage. Michael Penix came in and Bijan Robinson was unlocked. And Bijan Robinson had some really good games, and he carried that Falcons offense to look better than they were. But they were also playing teams like the Giants, the Commanders, who didn't have a good defense, and the Panthers, who didn't have a good defense. So I think the games at the end of the season there were stacked to make the offense look better on paper than they actually were. But at the end of the day, this was a fine team. But it was just okay. To me, it's a fringe wildcard team, not a team that I'd be betting on to win this division. When you look at Tampa Bay, they are easily a tier above Atlanta, in my opinion. And I mean easily from top to bottom: quarterback, head coach, offense, defense, roster as a whole, the draft that they had. And Michael Penix, we're talking about this guy like he's going to come in and save the franchise, and he'll probably be better than Kirk Cousins was last year. I'm not doubting that. But after the year Bryce Young had, is Penix the 3rd best QB in this division? Probably. I mean, we'll see about Tyler Shuck. I'm not giving Shuck credit over Michael Penix. I think the Saints might have the number 1 pick of the draft, so hear what I'm not saying. But my point being, let's pump the brakes on Michael Penix being this savior and the best QB in the division and how good he is. I didn't see that. And let's focus on their defense as well. They have a bottom 10 defense. Did they improve? I don't know. They lost Grady Jarrett. They lost Matthew Judon. They lost Eddie Goldman. They lost Justin Simmons. They brought in 2 very highly touted draftable guys in Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. But are they going to be hits? Will Atlanta have a sustainable pass rush? Or will 1 or 2 of these guys be whiffs? I don't know. Their over-under is set at 7.5 wins, which I do think is a fair line if we're being completely honest, but I'm selling my stock on the Falcons, and I'm willing to buy Tampa Bay and Carolina over them this season. But guys, those are just 3 teams that I'm selling my stock on as we head into the 2025 season. Be sure, if you love the NFL, you're subscribed to this channel. We're gonna have a ton of great content coming out for you guys in the summer months here, prepping for the season, and NFL will be back before we even know it. We are less than 100 days away from NFL football. I cannot fucking wait.